What is good? Welcome to Talks with a Reach. This is episode 7. Can you guys believe we've been doing it for seven weeks already?
It's
Welcome in,
incredible.
boys. It's been fun. It's that sad time of year though, where we're kind of coming towards the end of football. I think we got four weeks left. So
We don't have to put a number on it.
four more games, man. Then we got playoffs. And then it's just like all of a sudden it's like, what else do we do with our lives?
Yeah.
But Fancy, well, I'll start off by saying this. All three of us are losers this past week. All three of our teams have lost. I feel like your teams took more of a loss than my team did. But
No.
you think the Packers versus Giants is less of a loss than the Eagles versus Cowboys?
Anytime if you lose to the
20 points?
Cowboys, it's the worst. Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean, it's the
they are a
Cowboys.
good team, but like that was one of your wins for the Packers. Were like, this is a easy must win. So Jay, right
well,
there.
yeah. Let me tell you. I mean, I definitely
Fancy's got it down. Let's
I
see what happens.
definitely underestimated the power of that Giants throwback uniform.
And
That
Tommy
shit's
DeVito.
like, as I was looking at it, I was like, man, that shit looks good. I do like the Giants fucking.
It's like they're gonna beat us.
I was like, man, that's a good look,
Yeah.
And DeVito has definitely surprised me. Where I'm like, man, like, okay, like I'll be excited to see him in the future,
Yep.
But I mean, when you lose by just a couple points, and you can just instantly think back to a muff punt return where he even recovered it and then tried to make up for it by running it and then fumbled it again. It's like you just don't do that, like, not to armchair quarterback shit, but it's like you just don't do that. Like, that's ingrained from like Pee Wee football on up. And then a missed field goal. It's like right there. It's like we gave up good position, let them score, and then we missed the 3 points. That right there would have, it would have changed the whole. I can't say we would have won off of that. I mean, the turnover game we were losing anyways. But DeVito, I mean, he put up some yards. They absolutely look good. Aaron Jones still out. I mean,
Yeah, they
he's
thought he
great
was
when
gonna
he.
play. They thought he was gonna
Yeah,
play with the team time.
he's great when he's there, but when he's not there, it's like, what are we paying this guy for?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's just what's tough. I mean, and honestly, I don't know if anybody else thought this or didn't think this, but maybe because when you see the fucking
Mhm.
Gabagoo, you're like he's not fast because he eats pasta and pizza all the time.
Cutlets.
He's got some legs on him,
Yeah.
and I was like, damn, that guy can scramble, and we didn't account for that at all. And so, I think it was a bad game plan with some. We stubbed our toe multiple times, and what still I think it's like, played it, run it back, we win it, and it's just like that's the any given Sunday.
Yeah.
No, we appreciate you guys after the Lions lost.
Yeah, you guys are kind of helping each other out there.
We appreciate you losing Monday night. So
Yeah. I mean, and you talked about like what are we like? I love the statement like what are we paying him for? I talked about it with you, Fancy, a little bit earlier. I think this year is going to be an interesting year in terms of what it does to the quarterback marketplace because of the fact they are paying all these top guys so much money. We saw Joe Burrow get paid. We saw Justin Herbert get paid, right? And obviously, those guys deserve the money. None of us are going to say that these guys aren't good quarterbacks. But Joe Burrow gets hurt. Jake Browning comes in. It looks the same, right? I mean, the team looks the same. I mean, even without him. Then you got, they paid Daniel Jones, which is definitely a questionable one. Like when they signed him, I'm like, man, I wouldn't be happy as a fan because I just haven't seen enough from Daniel Jones yet.
Right.
To give him that much money. And then you get a guy like Tommy DeVito that comes in. It's like you can't just let Tommy DeVito run the team now from the next, 5 years when you paid Danny Dimes that much money. It's like,
oh, DeVito's not going to run the team
Yeah.
after seeing the dude on the bench get paid. And the thing is like you said, as a fan, like if you were a Giants fan, you'd be kind of upset. It's like, I don't think Jordan Love has earned that contract yet.
right.
I'm not sure Justin Herbert really has proven his case.
He's had a couple of MVP runs, but it's like you said, you can't make playoffs. I mean, whether it's him or coaching, but you're right. It's like,
yeah, I mean, it's like yeah,
Joe Burrow has made double or back-to-back AFC championships, so it's like and he went to the Super Bowl, so it's like,
yeah,
you are the guy. We want you here.
Yeah,
right. I mean, Justin
proven
Herbert,
it.
He statistically he's got it, but it's like we got to get the goal is playoffs.
Yeah,
so it'll be interesting. I mean,
and Lamar, it's like Lamar, I was questionable about getting that contract going into the season because I'm like, he is just like Herbert, hasn't done it yet. Now he's got the season going where I'm like, this could be the time where he's going to earn that money.
Yep.
What about Deshaun Watson? The reason why the whole quarterback market exploded to begin with.
Yeah. And then
He's not
I
even
mean,
playing either.
they played more games without him than with him. So
They've got a quarterback twice his age slinging
yeah.
it.
And that brings me as a smooth transition right to my game. Is the Browns Jags. The Browns get it done 31-27. The old man with 311, 3 touchdowns. They talked about benching him, and then I guess they made it kind of a last minute adjustment there and gave him another chance. But I mean, looked good, man. We'll be talking about him again more.
311 was his long jump or his yards thrown?
311 is how many games he's been in already.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, Jesus.
but
the year he started.
yeah, 1931. But hey, I mean, dude, the old man got it done, and they're probably questioning. Hey, that's another example right there. You're probably questioning. I mean, he has played better in the 3 games he's played in than Deshaun Watson has played in any Browns game so far. So,
Oh, absolutely.
that was my shocker of the week. Nothing really more to say other than that. Just like you said. I mean, Fancy, you said it's either right on the money or hitting an old lady in the stands with their brand
He's
new set of
knocking someone's
binoculars.
popcorn out of their hands.
Yeah. So, but what do you got for us, Matt?
Yeah, so mine's the Dolphins Titans game, the other Monday night shocker. You saw this offense is amazing, right? And you kind of see that crazy piece of Tyreek running from every spot on the field, getting in motion every play. Without him, that offense somehow just fell flat.
Yep.
On their face. So that was go check out our TikTok, our YouTube shorts.
Yep.
That was my sentiment right there. Was that's my number 1 draft pick for fantasy. You see him go down, and just like my fantasy team, the Dolphins really are nothing. What it seems like without him in there. So it was good to see him get back in there third quarter, but when your productivity only starts to go in that second half, you're going to be able to be in that spot to lose a game, which they did. Unfortunately, the Titans were able to get it done. So
yeah, I lost $100 on Monday. I took the safe route. Packers are set at -6, and the Dolphins are set at -11. I went -3 Packers, -5 Dolphins. So I kind of pushed the line down a little bit to be safer. And I fell asleep around 8:30, 9 o'clock. And when I woke up and I saw both of them lose, I was like, I don't even know what happened. But definitely a shocker, especially like you said, from such a high power offense with the Dolphins. I mean, 32 points per game, second most in the NFL. And then to come out flat against not really that great of a team.
Yeah,
in
only
Titans.
touchdown was defensively in the first half.
Yeah,
so
and it was a terrible pick 6 that
true
Will Levis threw.
But with that being said, I mean, with 2 minutes left, they were up by 14, 13. They were up by 13. So I mean, are we gonna talk about the offense not doing it whenever it's like, should the offense have made a bigger gap, or should the defense have held up for another couple minutes?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they did let the Titans.
I'm saying it's like right at the end that they choked it. The same with the Packers. And what about the Ravens?
I'm glad I fell asleep because I'd be
squeezing one out.
Yeah.
Ravens ended up being a crazy game to get to lose in overtime with that type of game winner right there. That was crazy for sure.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane.
And that's a big win for the Ravens, because those wins and losses towards the end of the season like this are just so crucial to add one into the win column there. So definitely a good thing that they got it done there.
A lot of grit showed there. I was really happy to see that.
It's a good sign for sure.
Speaking of quarterbacks showing their worth for their money,
Yeah.
Their contract.
And then we have the DK segment, which yours truly wins another week. That's 5 out of 7 weeks for me. So we'll look here at the results. I scored 141, Fancy at 130, and Matt at an impressive 105.
Another down week for me.
What's the low? What was the
you at 80 something?
No, I think it was you first week. Like all-time low.
Yeah, we had an all-time low once. I don't remember what it was.
We'll do some research after the pod and see what the all-time low is.
It's in the 80s. I think it's in the 80s.
Yeah, it's low. It's low, but it's definitely not 105. We've had lower than that.
Yeah.
But 141's got to be up there with one of our highest. It's got to be up there with one of the highest. Even with the quarterback. I mean, if I could have just had one of your quarterbacks, it would have been even a better week.
And you got a zero. You got a zero in there too. So
yeah, Jared Goff will be down, and Gabe Davis is as well. But I mean, Joe Mixon and
did Davis play or did they pull him?
What's up?
Did Davis play or did they pull him?
He played. That's how Davis is. It's a hit or miss. He's touchdown or nothing type of player.
enough.
But I mean, Mixon, Pittman, London, even Kittle doing really well. But the Vikings defense, definitely helped with having a 0 and Jared Goff doing that. But I mean, the double tight end thing has been working out well for me the last couple weeks. Having Kmet and Kittle, it was definitely ideal. But yeah, I mean, more ice on your guys' lineup than we want to see there. You stacked the Detroit Lions there, Matt, and they did not get it done. But both of you guys having
Yeah.
Zay Flowers was a good pick. Me and Fancy both with Joe Mixon, but I mean,
Hey,
Purdy,
I had a Lion on my team. He did all right.
yeah, he
Yeah.
did.
He
But
did
yeah,
average, I
Purdy
guess.
and White though, man, top scorers for the week besides London and I mean even Njoku 2 touchdowns and 90 yards for from the old
Yeah,
man.
that was a pretty solid
But
game.
back-to-back weeks for Fancy having an ice cold defense after having double back-to-back 20 pluses.
Yeah, we talked about his defense, and then
Yep. So
now
we'll
it's been
see. I
shit
didn't get a
past
chance to
weeks.
look at your guys' lineups this week. So this week's lineups, I mean, it's not really gonna matter because it's gonna be my winning lineup again. But here's the previews of them. Let's see if we
I
got.
like
So
how
we went
Flacco is still
Njoku
wearing
again.
his Jets jersey in his picture. That's
Yeah.
how old that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
God,
That's how bad he has
you had
been.
to find one without gray hair.
Yeah. And you can probably still see someone at chest there. It goes so low. But me and Fancy going with Njoku and Garrett Wilson together, and Kyron Williams. So we teamed up there. All of us have a pretty good looking defense, though. The only one that scares me a little bit is the Jets. I mean, Jets defense is so good, but like that Miami offense that is averaging 32 points a game. We'll
I had to
see.
break. I had to shake it up. I was
Yeah,
like,
no,
you
I
know
mean
what?
you have pretty
let
high
me.
guys with well, you went heavy on running backs. I mean, McCaffrey and Williams definitely cost you a pretty penny there. I do like Puka Nacua, Matt. That's definitely one I like, but you're definitely sneaking away with a couple of cheap guys with you guys both went Jaden Reed though.
That
Which is
that
nice.
catch Nakua had against the Ravens that really kind of like secured their drive for the win. I was like, let's go. And it's
Yeah.
like, man, Nakua is really a beast.
Yeah, he really is.
Yep.
He just moved up into the top 5. He's number 5. Last week we talked about the top 5 receivers.
Oh yeah,
He
yeah.
moved into number 5. He's number 5 right now. So
So who fell out?
Keenan Allen fell out.
Oh, because he didn't play, right?
Yep. Well, he got hurt as he was.
Yeah,
I think he got hurt.
yeah.
So and
Yeah.
left, and so did Herbert. So, but for me, the one that's gonna make or break. Oh, I went Jaden Reed too, bro. I didn't realize that. We all have them. That's the 3 right there. We finally
There
did
we
it.
go.
It's been
Finally
so
did it.
long. Yeah.
Y'all believe. Y'all believe.
Yeah. And but no,
Yeah.
for me, Zeke. If you see Stevenson out again, Zeke had such a big week in the Patriots offense to get them the win there that I still think he has some juice. I don't think like it's going to be valuable after this year, but like he still has some juice in him that coming out of the backfield as a receiver and just that power back. I mean, Bill Belichick's always done well with that. But that is it for our DK segments. Maybe this week we'll post it. But who knows?
Yeah,
That's
for
like
sure.
the reoccurring theme.
Yeah, I
and
just
there we go.
we just haven't gotten to it. I mean, hey, I could say we posted on an Instagram story, but you guys missed it. But you never know. That's why you got to keep checking. But along the lines of Bill Belichick and the Patriots have agreed to go separate ways after this season. I don't know if you saw that, Matt. Me and Fancy talked about it a little bit earlier.
No, I didn't.
But they have agreed to part ways. So after the season, Bill Belichick will either hang him up and call it a career, or he'll sign and be a head coach somewhere else. So that'll be interesting.
You don't think he'll push to the GM only kind of position? Do you think he's
I think
gonna?
he's done. After I think he made that Patriots offense or just the team in general. I don't think he's that good of a GM compared to a head coach. I think maybe it's because of the Chip Kelly shit that went down in Philly, how he screwed us over so badly. And I saw Bill O'Brien do it in Houston as well.
Right.
Back when Brock Osweiler got that big deal and whatever else. It's like these guys are head coaches. Let them coach, right? But they're not the financial, guys that understand the moves and all this other stuff. You can have a little bit of say, but I don't think he should take on another role of being a GM. After seeing, I mean, no one has really come out of New England. You can argue that Brady made everyone, you know what I mean, that they had. And I mean, Scotty Miller looked great for Brady. Now where's Scotty Miller at? It's like
I think some of those guys made Brady as well.
no, they absolutely did. You can definitely. But all of a sudden now there's not a single receiver that's come out of that offense that's worth anything for the last 4 years. So
yeah, the only thing that I think I credit them for doing is they kind of cut ties with people maybe even when they're, they still got maybe one more year left, they cut the ties with them, seemingly at the right time.
Yeah.
Then hold on to them
Yep.
past it. So
But I was
that's the
reading
only
something like
thing.
I was reading something from like a Patriots fan side of thing, and they trade down every year in the draft, and that just kills them. I mean, Bill doesn't want
Yeah.
anyone that's going to be a head case in the locker room. He doesn't want anyone that's going to either have to pay a lot of money, and it's like we live in a different game where you got to pay these guys to play. It's like otherwise his magic isn't going to work. When we have all these super teams that are that are in the league right now, there's some juggernaut teams in the league. And then with that being said, I mean, we can dive right into the NFC division standings. Like Fancy said, he's going to win the NFC South down there in Texas.
Yeah.
Because the NFC South, man, is that a ugly sight. Panthers, look good.
I wonder
But
how the Panthers feel. It's like, man, it's like up
No.
until last week, there was still a chance. It's
yeah,
like,
and like I talked about it before, and me and Matt have discussed it, but the Panthers do not have their draft pick. That is the thing. Is everyone's like, oh, it's okay next year. It's like they do not have their first pick. They do not have it. The Bears have it. So
yeah.
that is going to be an issue when you're trying to rebuild a team and you don't have youth there. But the Lions got to get it together, otherwise the NFC North is going to become a toss up. And I don't know. They were looking great at the beginning of the year, but they've had some questionable losses. Their defense is looking rough. That if they go into playoffs the way that they're playing now, I mean they're going to be a first round exit. I hate to say it. I'm not even taking a jab at
Yeah.
I'm just saying in
No,
general.
absolutely.
I mean, they're such an. I mean they could win, right? But it's like one of those teams that you don't know who's going to show up and what's going to show up.
I think it's twofold though. Like, so we touted Jared Goff for not throwing an interception and
however
how
many,
how many throws that was, right? And that was through the first couple weeks too. Since then, he's thrown way too many picks. He's not looking as electric as he was. The run game's really been bailing him out. And then you're right. The defense is probably the scariest part of it. Is again, they started the season off
so good
with those rookies just looking like they're going to be, all going to be up for Rookie of the Year, Branch and Campbell.
Yep.
But when both your offense and your defense are struggling, you're going to have
it's a bad combination for sure.
You're going to have these losses like you did, and you can't sustain the whole season doing this now. So
when do you relax on the fourth down and going for it?
Apparently never.
I mean, like at what point, it's like it's won you some games, but it's starting to cost you down the home stretch, and it's like you don't have to do it every time.
Yeah,
and that's
we
why
talked about
I'm
last week.
I'm like both weeks. I mean, against the Packers and the Bears, it's like oh, like it's just not. It's like
Yeah.
I mean, I still love the ballsiness of it and believing in your team to be able to complete it, but it's just like what like. It's like, fuck, man. Like, you keep, McCarthy got fired from Green Bay for being too soft. It's like, I wouldn't doubt that there's another extreme of like, you can't keep going for it on fourth down. Like,
let me see what we were this game. I gave you stats the last couple of games. Yeah, 1 for 5.
1 for 5 against the Bears. You're 1 for 5. That's
what I mean.
2 for
that's
10
not going to
in the
do
last
it.
2 games. Yeah,
that's not going to do it. Right. So
that's a lot of points.
I mean, that's like Fancy just said. It's 20% conversion on the last 2 games, and you guys have lost almost arguably because of those decisions. So it's like, at some point we talked about it last week a lot. It's like at some point that's what makes Daniel Campbell, but that'll also be the reason that he's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows?
That's his legacy.
Yeah.
Good or bad.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, if they turn it around and then at the right time in playoffs, that can make him. That could be the legacy. Is whatever. But definitely more downside to the upside there in that type of play style. But I mean, NFC West, I don't think anything's going to come out of that besides the 49ers. I mean, maybe in the hunt or wild card spot, we might see Seattle or the Rams. But I mean, no one's going to touch the divisional, title besides the 49ers there.
But Rams are looking good. I mean,
no, they are. There's too many games back that there's just no way that the 49ers lose out, and but NFC South, out of those 3, it's like I know it's like garbage versus garbage versus garbage, and it's like whoever makes it out is probably going to lose first round. But like, what team are we seeing? With these upcoming schedules, we'll get into the matchups they play this week. I believe, if I have it correct, the Bucks play the Packers, the Saints play the Giants, and the Falcons play the Panthers. So the Falcons have the best matchup this week in terms of probably going to end up being 7-7. The Packers game will be a toss up. Giants
Yeah.
game, we'll get into that as well. But I mean, what are we thinking here? Only 4 games left. So,
Honestly,
it's looking, like it's gonna have to come down to. I mean, eventually, one team's got to win it, right? It's like,
Yeah,
it's
we
like
might see another team with a losing record
7
make
and
the
10 or
playoffs
something. Yeah.
somehow. I mean, so I was trying to look at it if it was the Giants last time. It was the Seattle Seahawks. Was the last team to have a losing record 7-9
What was that?
in the 2010.
It was that long ago, huh?
Yeah, so I was thinking it was the Giants, but maybe the Giants were before
What was
that.
the record? 7-9.
Yeah.
Okay.
who's their quarterback? Hasselback?
No, Russell.
2009?
Oh no, I thought he said. Wait, did you say
2010.
2009?
2010.
Was that not Russ?
Russell Wilson was like 2012, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think.
But no, for
I-
me, I guess I'll start it. But for me, as much as I don't want Arthur Smith to make it to playoffs, I think I have the Falcons. I think, um, their defense is probably the best defense in that division. Not, I mean, the quote of defenses win championships. I do not love Art Smith. But the quote of defenses win championships. The Falcons defense is the best defense in that, and they're one of the best run defenses in football. So going forward, we just saw, they did just lose, and Fancy brought up Desmond Ridder throwing up 350. It's like, how do you lose when you have a quarterback putting up that many numbers? It's like eventually they're gonna keep winning those games. And like I said, they play the Panthers this week, so that's an easy win. 7-7 could be, on top if the Packers could get it done against the Bucks. But yeah, I mean that's my take on that. I think the Falcons end up in the playoffs there.
I honestly can't argue with that because Derek Carr continues to let me down. We're gonna stomp the dog shit out of Tampa Bay. As much as I love Baker, I think another season there he'll be fine. So, and Carolina doesn't have a shot. Go Art Smith.
Yeah.
Matt?
No, I it's anybody's game. I think it's like you already said it. I think it's trash whatever comes out of that. So, I'm more focused on that NFC East
Mhm.
and the new shakeup, the new team you see on top.
Yeah, we'll get into the playoff picture here after we go over the AFC standings.
Wow.
But one thing we were talking about before the podcast was, and this is me being looking at it from a football perspective, not just a fan. Like I could take this hat off and give you this take. The Cowboys have a much harder schedule coming up these next 4 games, and the Eagles just got through that juggernaut of a schedule. I mean, they played Cowboys, Chiefs, Bills, 49ers, Cowboys, and now they play Seattle this week. So it's like, if they can win this game Monday, they're 4-2 out of that 6-game stretch of really playing some good playoff teams. And then they play the Giants twice, and I forget who the next one of the. It might be. I think we played Washington twice already, but
yeah, correct.
Playing the Giants twice, it's like they should get that rhythm back. So I mean, if the Eagles win out, it doesn't even matter if the Cowboys win out. The Eagles will be number 1 because of the divisional records.
Yeah, but we've got. I mean, the gauntlet that you talked about. Now that's the Cowboys' turn, right? They got Bills,
so even
Dolphins. We'll see what Lions team shows up, and then
we could really use you guys to figure the fuck out there. That'd be cool,
right?
So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it because I'm an Eagles fan. I'm generally saying it. I like the Eagles' chances at being at that number 1 than I do the Cowboys. I still think Cowboys make playoffs without a doubt. But the number 1 in that division should be the Eagles at the end of this, based off of the schedule. And then I don't know about the conference wise, because I'm not sure exactly who all the 49ers have left. I'm not even sure.
Well, let me tell you right now.
Yeah, I know they play the Cardinals this week, which will be, that's an easy 11-3.
Cardinals, Ravens, Commanders, Rams.
Okay, so maybe Ravens Rams. It will be less
Yeah,
of them, right?
I think
So
Ravens will be a good game.
right. And so who do the real quick before we go over? I mean, I'll switch over to the AFC because I'm talking about it. But Fancy, who do the Eagles play? We played the Giants twice after the Seahawks. That's 3 out of the 4. What is the fourth game for us there?
So you play Seahawks, Giants, Cards, Giants.
Cardinals.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, in my opinion,
New Year's
I mean,
Eve.
obviously the Giants game could go either way. We can 50-50 with them, whatever. You know what I mean? Divisional games are weird sometimes. But I mean, if they get the job done in Seattle, they basically finish off the year 14-3, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, for sure.
Fair.
For sure.
that leads us to the AFC, where I think there's gonna be a little bit more debate. I think the NFC is a little bit more Lions at the top. You know, AFC South is a shit, or NFC South is a shit show. You know, 49ers are making it, and it's basically Eagles and Cowboys that are making it. You know what I mean? But this, it's like, you know, you just mentioned the Ravens have to play the 49ers, and I believe they have to play the Cowboys.
And Cleveland's getting hot.
Yeah, and Cleveland's getting hot. So we'll see what happens. I will say I'm rooting for the Ravens. Um, I'm rooting for the Ravens. I'm rooting for the Dolphins, even though they kind of have been looking shaky. They're a shaky team, kind of like they're the Lions of the NFC, or of the AFC NFC, right? It's Lions Dolphins. It's like they have that shaky defense and that shaky offense that either going to light you up, or it's like they both don't show up and they lose to a shit team.
Yep.
And then, you know, for me, it might be a hot take. I mean, not really a hot take because it's just kind of like it's more of an opinion and like my bias, I guess. But I would love to see the Texans or Colts take that AFC South, and I would love to see the Broncos take the AFC West. Wouldn't that be awesome to see the AFC
Yeah.
West get
Yeah, that would
overtaken
be
by the
crazy.
Broncos? Yep, it'd be awesome. I don't know how many more games the Chiefs are going to lose, but man, that would be something.
Yeah, it's definitely been a weird year for Kansas City. So
yeah.
well, same thing for Denver. Denver's getting hot, right?
Yeah, and Denver plays the Lions, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I mean, Denver's offense has looked good, and their defense is definitely better than the Lions. So we'll see what happens in that game. We'll debate it here in a little bit. But you just brought up the Chiefs. Can we talk about the Pat Mahomes meltdown here before we go to the playoff picture?
Absolutely, because that was hilarious.
That was disgusting to watch. Like that made me cringe. Like that put Mahomes up here for me, like so much lower than that. And I know it's like everyone makes mistakes, everyone's human, everyone whatever. Emotions ran high. He's a competitor. All these other things. But even for Andy Reid, who I love Andy Reid, but even for Andy Reid to double down and say that it shouldn't have been called is just like it's insane. It's absolutely insane.
That
And
they
I
say
get
two
what
different
they're saying.
things. They say two different. They say, "Oh yeah, well yeah, I guess he was offsides,
Right.
but you shouldn't call that." Like that.
Yeah,
That's
they
where
basically said, yes, we are saying he's offsides, but because of how great that play was, it should not have been called. If that isn't, we talked about when the Chiefs Eagles played, I had brought up. I'm not even sure. We might have posted on our socials if you guys haven't seen it. I brought up how Pat Mahomes is the biggest crybaby. This was weeks ago. I brought this up and literally said that there was a point in the Eagles game where there was a play that happened. 15 seconds went by. And then in the 15 seconds, Pat Mahomes was arguing to the referee. As he was arguing, the ref throws the flag. And I'm like, yeah, see, that's what he gets for crying to him. They threw a flag for him complaining as much, like let it go. And they threw the flag on the Eagles and gave him the call that he wanted. I've never seen such a delay in a call in my entire life. And I was like, he has more power than Brady does. And it goes to show you that, like, that spoiled brat attitude of, like, I don't get what I want and, like, all this other stuff. It just showcases it when it's not going his way. And it's like,
well, two things beyond that rubbed me the wrong way were they do that overhead camera where they're in the huddle afterwards. He was literally shooing them away. That's how upset he was and being a crybaby. He literally was shooing the camera away from doing their normal thing where they come in on the huddle. Then the second one,
Josh Allen,
was the game is over with.
Yep.
You have a chance to congratulate or say, hey, yeah, well, say, hey, you know, we'll see you in the playoffs, or just like he said, stay healthy.
Yeah, stay healthy. Hopefully, keep going. Yeah.
The fact that he then even cries to him about that play after the game's done, like that's embarrassing for everybody involved that he would do that on that stage.
Yep.
So that's what really like.
I mean, they're good friends. They golf in the off season together and all this other stuff. It's like you can give them a call after the game. You can text them. You can see them in the hallway. You can do so many other things, and to do it right there instead of congratulating a friend of yours.
Yeah, that's embarrassing for everybody.
It's a bad. I mean, Josh Allen, he was like flabbergasted. He was just like, what? Just I don't even know.
Yeah.
Like he was looking at him like, did you seriously just say that to me? Like after we just won? Like it's just a mess, man. And it's on the other side of it for the people that are going to try to defend them, Huffy, Smokey, Kansas City, you know, I looked into it, and that call has been called 11 times this year. It's something that the refs basically came out. The league basically came out in the beginning of the year and said we're gonna make an emphasis on this specific play. Like we're gonna make sure that these offsides are called right away rather than giving you guys a warning. Now it's only been called 11 times before that, but what Andy Reid is basically saying is in the 300 and something games that he's coached, he's been warned about it every single game. That it was the only game that he hasn't been warned about. So I understand that perspective of it. But when the league comes out and makes an emphasis that this is what we're trying to accomplish this year, is that, I mean, in my opinion, it's bullshit. Because it's like, how are you going to say, hey, just so you know that last play, that guy was offside, tell him not to do it again? It's like, that doesn't make any sense. That's like, hey, just so you know, you got cheated last play, but don't do that again. It's like,
Okay, so why, I guess, on top of that is you actually this year, maybe last year a little bit more too, this year you see them point at the sideline every single time, right? And that's to say, hey, am I good, right?
Yeah.
But what's the repercussions if they point over and they don't get an acknowledgement? Are they?
They got to move. Yeah.
supposedly.
But I guess that was my question. I guess.
Yeah. So supposedly, I looked at it too. So what we didn't know is, now I never played football at that level, right? So it's different. But they're not even questioning when they look at the referee, the linesman. They're not questioning if they're onside or offside. Is what, from my understanding, they're questioning if he can see the football, which gives them an idea of are they offsides or onsides. The linesman will never tell them if they're onsides or offsides. They're letting them know I can see the football. That's all that they're letting them know. It's from I understand. I could be absolutely wrong. That source is that's what they said is you're not going to get a yes, you're good to go. It's
I've heard both
from where you are at. Yeah.
So I don't know.
I've heard both that they need to see it, and then they'll let you know. Like they're like, yes, I'm good, and yes, you're good.
Yeah.
But I've also heard what you said where they don't.
Right. So it could be referee to referee. I am not sure.
After seeing the replay, he points. You don't get an acknowledgement, so that's why I was like, is there a gray area there, or
it probably is a little. It is a little bit of a gray area.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is, and so that's the argument. But you can't argue that he wasn't offsides, and you have a Hall of Famer quarterback and a Hall of Famer tight end that can also view that he's offside. So if Mahomes wasn't so emotionally a wreck like he was, it's like you could see that your guy's offsides, call it, you know what I mean, and bring him back or put him in motion, whatever it is that needs to happen. Mm-hmm. Or Kelsey's standing 3 feet next to him and he can say something. It's like there's other plays.
My question is though, is the way I think, to play devil's advocate here, to be the voice of Smokey and Huffy, why not call it instantly when the ball's snapped as offsides, like you would a false start or anything else? Why? Why is it not?
It's a free play, just like a.
How do you get a free play for offense?
It's for
like
defense.
when it's offensive foul.
He throws a pick. It's the same. The defense gets the benefit of a sack. You know what I'm saying? They get it as well as. Like, yes, I agree. I think it should just be blown dead because it's like a false start. It's like,
to me, it's like a false start. So
I agree with you, but that's
I
the
think
hindsight
that's how
of
it should be. Yeah, that's how it should be, and that's it's like I can understand the frustration of like call it right there on the spot, back us up, we run it again.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, I get like not being warned about it. I get all that stuff. But to simply just like he basically came out and said, he literally said it, like it was a great play that takes away greatness from a Hall of Fame tight end. It's like, so what you're saying is when great plays happen, whether PIs are involved or not, like just let it happen. Then it's a great play. Like as long as it's a great play, even if it's against you, and then you bring up like not even to be an Eagles fan again, but like then you bring up like he brought up the let the boys play, like whatever, like don't ruin the game. It's like the Super Bowl, a great Super Bowl by the way, ended because of a bullshit pass interference or a holding, whatever they called on James Bradbury, right? It's like that was allowed all game long. And then the minute that it's a crucial play, they call it for him and he wins Super Bowl because of it. It's like you can't play both sides of it. Either you're going to want it called or you don't want it called, or you want the guys to play or you don't want the guys to play. It's like he wants it when it fits him at all times. And I get it. You're a competitor. You always want that. But it's like you can't win a Super Bowl because of a controversial call that wasn't called all game long and then get upset during the regular season that an offsides where the guy's foot is literally offsides. You're
I
upset.
Man, how cool was that lateral though? If it
No,
would
it was.
Oh, it was so
The
epic.
That was pretty
timing
cool
on it
play.
that he threw that football, it's like he was like a second before that guy was gonna hit it. Like I was
Yeah.
like,
That was a pretty cool play. But
Yeah.
I do think what makes it tough for any quarterback, and whether you're used to getting your way and complaining or not, is the inconsistency from each crew week to
Oh,
week.
absolutely.
So it's like you're adjusting how you play and how your receivers can run their routes and everything else based on who's there.
Yeah.
And,
It's a whole thing. I mean,
and that's a whole another element that I think a lot of people forget about.
yeah, I mean,
It's
they
like,
scheme off of the crews that are there, and they know it, right? They know how many PIs are called, they know how many offsides are called, false starts. They're looking for all these things.
right.
And so
That's a whole other strategy.
a whole different thing. Yeah.
It's another dimension that you can implement. So,
Yep.
yeah, I think we just don't like his reaction was very unprofessional.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Very unprofessional. But I can see in other ways where it's like just based on the other statistic, like how that referee crew probably has been and everything else. It's like, really,
Yeah.
I
absolutely agree.
He was way too far. Like there was no like letting that go and then be like, oh hey, by the way,
Yeah, because I mean, the way I said it too,
the entire NFL
not
is gonna
to
look at
just
this
like
last play.
not to just keep hitting it, but like the way I said it is like if they don't call that and someone takes a screenshot of him offsides that fucking far out and then they win the game because of it, it's all the refs are on the Chiefs side. So it's a lose-lose from a ref standpoint. You can't be like, oh well, we warned him about it. It's like you don't get warned. It's like that's what they said.
We don't know warnings. It's
Yeah.
like the millions of people watching don't know what warnings are. They're like, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah,
You can get a warning for a face
offsides,
mask.
refs are paid.
Yeah, what if you got a warning for roughing the passer?
Yeah, the whole
Ndamukong Suh would come back and play again.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
I know you loved him, Matt.
Before we, let's get Sue back in here. Actually,
Sue back in.
Stomping on dicks.
NFC North. So we did made a TikTok on that earlier in the season. Did you officially switch over then from your boy Joe to Cleveland then, Jake?
Man, I mean Joe's not there, so I can't take him. I did think it was really cool though. They had Jake Browning's family was there, and it was Joe Burrow's suite. I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but Joe Burrow gave him his suite to have his family there in attendance, which is pretty dope. But no, I mean with the playoff, with the playoff picture here, I mean the Bengals can still make it, man. The Bengals can still make it, and if Jake Browning keeps doing what he's doing, I mean they can sneak in there easily. We'll see exactly what happens. But obviously this playoff picture looks a lot different than it looked last week. A different number one seed for the NFC. Different people in for the NFC. Different matchups. I kind of talked about it before. I said even if the Eagles get bounced out, I like my odds against the Bucks, Falcons, Saints, whatever at 5 seed. Because then the Cowboys are going to lose. First round. So the Packers advance, then they lose the 49ers, shocker, like they always do. And then we play the winner of the Vikings Lions in that matchup. So I'm okay with that. But yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, I think on the AFC side, I would love to see the Colts really get in there. I'd love to see the Texans get out of that hunt and get in there. I think the Jags, depending on what's going on with Trevor Lawrence, I think the Jags might fall out. I think the Jags might fall out. I think we talked about that last year. I think a couple of us said that. With the Texans and Colts right on them.
Right.
They're not looking great. So we'll see. That's the playoff picture for right now. So we'll have it again up for next week as well. See where things stand. But we're getting closer to that point of you either make it or a lot of teams are gonna be eliminated here soon. So so I don't have stats within reach this week for us. But I have kind of like the Pictionary thing that we did. So hopefully, Matt, you can do better than last time because I'm pretty sure Fancy absolutely smoked you last time when it came to the pictures game. So what it is like I said for those that are new or listening, I'm going to show a picture, and it's going to have basically key hints, kind of like Pictionary, and you tell me what player it is. They're obviously all in the NFL. They're all currently playing. But we'll start off with a pretty easy one to get it going, and then as they keep going, you guys will see. So, you guys ready?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Fancy's gonna get locked in, dude. He's about to whoop your ass again, Matt.
I'm fucking pulling up the Guinness Book of Micah Hyde.
Micah Parsons. That's right.
Parsons. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Fancy, remember, you got to look at both. Fancy, remember,
I know.
he looks at one and then says it right away.
My brain just starts saying it out loud.
Yep. All right. So Matt won.
I know he's like a savant, and it just blurts it out.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Jared Goff.
Come on, Matt.
Dude.
Wait, what?
Jared is
red,
and then
I'm thinking circle.
Yeah, I've had that too. Yeah, I did that too.
I did that last week for sure.
All right, 1-1. There's only 5, so there's gonna be a winner. Like it's gonna be 3, 2, or 4, or whatever, right? So, all right, 3, 2, 1.
Lamar Jackson.
Wow, Fancy just under the.
I couldn't get it out fast enough.
I know. All right, Matt. This is an important one. This is an important one right here. 3, 2, 1.
I'm gonna
Amon-Ra Brown.
I'll give it to Matt because he was saying it first.
He was just saying it. Yeah. I was trying to remember his first name.
Yeah. I was like, Matt, if you go 0 for 2 on Lions, you can't be a Lions fan. Fancy's gonna send you a Packers jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have toilet paper already. I'm good.
Oh.
Well, you are a Lions fan.
All right. You are Lions fan. All right. 2-2. Here it comes down right here to the last one. 3, 2, 1.
Keenan Allen.
Whoa.
I was like, none. I got hung up on the none so hard.
Fancy's fetish came in. He was like, none. Yeah. Father Fancy? What's going on here?
Ain't getting none.
Come back for the win.
Oh wow, dude, that was good. Good job.
That's okay.
Matt came back there. He was down 2-1. It got the last 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't have any stats for us this week, but I figured it'd be fun to throw in something like that.
Yeah, those are fun.
Those are a good time when I see those across my my thing there. But that transitions us straight into the matchups here for this week. So we got week 15 matchups. Before we get into it, I know Matt's gonna yell at me here. I don't really want to talk about it. But last week I went 5-10. Fancy 9-6, and Matt 9-6. That put Matt, you were at 67-35, so 10 ahead of Fancy.
He jumped in a big lead. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, me going 5-10, dude, I dropped 5 basically there. I'm at 62-40, so I'm down 5, which is doable. And Fancy, you were down to 57-45. I mean, Fancy, at some point you were almost at like 500 on the dot.
I think I've been 9-6, and 10-5.
You were at 500 at one point, and then you had a really good week that bounced you back up.
Yeah, and I've been hitting like the same ever since.
Listen, if Monday Night Football didn't let me down, I would have an even better week. But
there was a couple weeks
for me too,
where if those favorites didn't really like screw the pooch, if you will, I would have had a perfect week just like you, Matt.
I don't know if we've had a week where as many favorites choked.
Yeah, that's what. So not to defend myself, but we did talk about me going 5-10. And I listed the teams that let me down, and Jags with Trevor Lawrence lost. The Chiefs lost; they were favorites. The Eagles lost, not favorites, but still the Eagles are a good team, obviously.
Yeah, Eagles
the Dolphins lost. The Packers lost. I mean, that's 5 right there. I could probably look through even more, and there's probably some more that were favored as well. I think Falcons, they were favored, lost. Lions lost. So that's 7 that I lost.
Don't forget the Lions. The Lions were favored and they lost.
So did the Packers.
To the Bears.
So did the Packers. To the Giants.
We didn't, not to the Bears.
To the Giants, even worse.
The Lions were favored.
I think that is actually even worse.
Yeah, you guys lost to a fucking third string quarterback that came out of the Italian Mafia 2 weeks ago.
Division leaders lost.
But that leads us right into, so this week is a fun week for football fans out there. We have Thursday Night Football, then we have 3 games on Saturday, and then we have the rest of the slate on Sunday. So those lineups,
Saturday.
They always do it when the bye weeks are up now. It happens every year. It's so funny because it happens every year, and everyone's always like, "Why are we on Saturdays?" But it always happens.
Football.
Yeah, it always happens because now there's no more bye week. So now all 16 games happen every single weekend. So they try to not to over, saturate a certain time slot with these games. So try to give us more football on days. So now we have a Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
No NCAA games either, right? So
right.
let's
That spot opens up.
That's the spot opens up, and then the bye weeks also help out with that. So it's kind of a win-win, if you will. So I guess we'll go right into the Thursday night game. We have Matt went with the Chargers. They have no Justin Herbert. They have no Keenan Allen. I think Raiders get it done. Fancy does as well. Yeah, I mean, did you make those picks before Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen were ruled out? Gotcha.
Yeah, I didn't
Fair
see that.
Yeah,
I
fair
didn't see
enough.
it, but
Hey, you never know though, because they got what Easton is his name, like Easton. Is it Easton Stick or something like that? I don't know what.
Yeah, it is.
Is it okay? It didn't sound right when I was going to say it, and I was like, wait.
Yeah, no,
it
it's
sounds like
some
a hockey
fucking
stick.
Arkansas name. Yeah.
Yeah. Probably your neighbor. And so me and Fancy got the Raiders. Matt's got the Chargers, and then we got the first Saturday game at 1 p.m. Eastern. Bengals Vikings. Matt and Fancy with the Bengals. I will take the Vikings in that one. I just like the fact that they're going to start Nick Mullins. Nick Mullins played good with the 49ers when he came in a couple times, and they did win 3-0 last week, so it's not like he came in and looked amazing. But when they put him in, he came down the field and gave them their only points, and then the game was over. So
is Dobbs hurt, or they're just benching?
They're done. They benched him after it was 0-0. They put Nick Mullins in the last drive. He marched down the field for them. They kicked the field goal. They won the game. So, I mean, I only saw one drive from him, but I saw him in 49ers, and he looked good. I don't think this whole Jake Browning thing keeps going. I talked with you guys before the podcast, and I mean, he's had a play like 80+ yards every week. That's kind of padded his stats a little bit. So I don't know if he's playing as good as people think he is. He's also getting a lot of help from Joe Mixon in the backfield. But I mean, not to discredit him. He still could keep going. And I mean, both these teams need a win. So the Saturday games are going to be good games to watch, all three games, because they're going to be games where these teams are kind of just, flirting with playoffs a little bit. But that brings us into the Steelers-Colts game. Me and Fancy with the Colts riding the Minshew mustache. And Matt's going with the Steelers. Anything you see there, Matt, that you like the Steelers? Is that just more of a defense? You like the defense that the Steelers have?
Yeah,
that more
to me that was the defensive side of the Steelers. I didn't really like looking at the Colts last game, their offense.
And they blew that game, didn't they?
Yeah. So to me, just kind of an up down of that last week from the Colts, and then the Steelers, I think can still hold them as well. So
they got blown out of the water in that game. So we'll see if the Colts can come back in that one. And then we obviously have the Lions Broncos. I will say I was tempted to go for the Broncos here, but this is just one of those where for me, I do want to get on top of the standings again in the pick'ems thing. I knew you were going Lions, and obviously they do have a good chance at beating the Broncos at home because Goff plays much better at home than he does, on the road. But the Broncos could definitely win that. Fancy makes a good case for himself. The Broncos have been hot. They've won, I think, 5 out of their last
6?
6?
Yeah,
6.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I don't remember the last one they lost. It might have been.
I think it was they were 1-5.
Yeah. So the 6 out of the last 7 then.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Incredible.
So, I mean, that's great.
That's
so we'll
a good streak.
I mean, those Saturday games though, they're going to be a good slate. It's going to be a good slate to watch. Hopefully, we get some good football on Saturday. And then we have the Dolphins and Jets. I will say Zach Wilson looked really good last week. But I'm going to roll with the Dolphins just because it's an important week. And Matt, I'm sure you're rooting for it's a tough week for fantasy owners. I will tell you that right now. My girlfriend, she's in playoffs round 1. And she's got Tua versus the Jets, but she also has Achane and Tyreek. So do you triple up against the Jets with them, or do you start Sam Howell, who's number 4 in passing yards anyways? And in terms of fantasy quarterbacks, Tua's 4 and Sam Howell's 6, and Howell is playing the Rams.
I would take Howell.
That's what I have.
That's a lot against a Jets deep. Well,
yeah.
I guess depends on how if Tyreek's in there in full strength, because
that's what I'm saying. If Tyreek or Tua's going to do good, Tyreek's going to be who he's doing good too.
Exactly,
he'll still get those points, and I think Sam Howell will do pretty good against the Rams.
What did he do to his ankle? Is it just ruled as a sprain?
Yeah,
I
I don't think he
nothing's
anything. I think it's just he was just.
no,
I mean, he had it all wrapped up and everything
Yeah.
else, and he talked about it
that was just a
hurting.
precaution. Yeah, I think that was just
Yeah.
a precaution.
Well, he
I
talked
don't
about
think
hurting the rest of the game that he played. So I
Yeah.
don't know. Like as I'm saying, like I don't know if it's just one
He
of
never
those
went
things.
to the tent. That was weird. He just stood on the sidelines. I don't know. It was
Yeah.
weird. So I mean, yeah, we'll see there on what happens. But I mean, I could definitely see the Jets winning that one too. The Dolphins have been a sloppy team, just like the Lions. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like the Lions Broncos game. Like the Jets have a better defense than the Dolphins do, and it could win them the game if the Jets offense shows up.
Yeah. So
Um,
listen, I gave up on the Jets already. You know, that was
Yeah.
my waiting for that, and then they finally put up 30 points. So
Yeah. Thank
I
you for
don't.
blessing me with this week, Matt. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm down on the Jets. So they're gonna surprise us.
Especially the way
Fancy.
they let up on the Titans.
Yeah, that's what I
That's
mean.
what
They've been a sloppy team, so
really.
Yeah.
it's one of those things where that game's gonna be
Yeah.
interesting. And then not really like a flashy game, but the Titans, like you just said, beat the Dolphins, right? And the Texans, they lose to the Jets, so they're kind of like coming off of a bum loss. I mean, we don't even know if CJ Stroud's gonna be clear to play. He's still questionable.
That's
Concussion, I
why I went
believe.
with the Titans.
Yeah,
I did not know if he was going to be back.
so I mean, you never know. Titans at home too. But I stuck with the Texans just because they are they're in that playoff contention, right? They're in the hunt, and they need this divisional win. These divisional wins are so crucial when it comes down to that last little straw, especially if the Jags lose this game to the Ravens on Sunday Night Football. Texans squeak up right there at 8-6 with the Jags, so they're right there. So this divisional game for the Texans, at 1 p.m. Eastern, is going to be a huge game.
Old Houston versus New Houston.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Imagine they wore imagine Titans come out with
Dude.
the Oilers uniforms,
Dude,
That'd
that'd
be
be
hilarious.
what
throw it
a
in their
great
face.
game. What a game to wear
Yeah,
the Oilers.
and then
Oh
Texans
my
come out with
God.
the red. I love the Texans red.
Ooh,
Did I
Little red and powder blue.
Did I send you the playoff, like if they win or lose the game, what their percentage on playoffs to
I
make
did
the
not.
playoffs?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I meant to send that to you. This is one of those games where Texans, basically it's a must win. Otherwise, their playoff
It just
chances goes way down, like into the
And
20%.
that's what I mean. It's a perfect week, right? Because they can tie that division. I don't know. I'm not up to date on what their divisional record is and conference record is, and who's going to lead after they go 8-6 and Jags go 8-6. But they do play the Titans 2 times in the next 3 weeks, kind of like the Eagles play Giants 2 in 3 weeks. They play the Titans 2 times in 3 weeks. So we'll see. I will say before we get to the next game, I want your guys' opinion on CJ Stroud or Jared Goff this week. Jared Goff versus the Broncos at home, or CJ Stroud versus the Titans away. And CJ Stroud, losing a lot of weapons lately. But in that league, I'll remind you, I'm not going to start Laporta this week. I know, Matt, you're going to be bummed out. I'm going to start Hawkinson. New quarterback. He's new quarterback. And I'll say this. I took, not to go off page here, I took Cole Kmet over 33.5 yards last week. And then I paired it up with Hawkinson over 42 or 43.5 for $100 to win like 120, right? So 220 profit, whatever. And going into the last 3 minutes of the game, when they put Nick Mullins in, Hawkinson had 1 catch for 8 yards. And at the end of the game, Hawkinson had 5 catches for 55. So as soon as Nick Mullins went in, he target, and it was just like boom. So I like that, but I still do have St. Brown. So I do want that bubble between Goff and St. Brown, especially coming off a rough week.
Yep.
It's like I don't think St. Brown's going to have too many back-to-back bum weeks. So it's like I want that connection, but it's like, how do you bench CJ Stroud when Goff has been inconsistent,
Yeah. So rewind episode 2 or 3. Go ahead and insert that right now into the okay.
Back at our ESPN guy back at
so I love when you have a new quarterback coming in. I love picking that tight end because that is the check down.
That's their blanket.
That's going to be their read. If they're not quite comfortable enough, they're going to drop down to that tight end. So I think you're spot on with that new quarterback. I think he's going to, Hawkinson's going to have a really good chance. I will tell you, this is maybe I'm just saying this because I'm hopeful. It's got to be a bounce back week after a game like that for the Lions.
I'm thinking the same exact thing.
It's got to be. So,
otherwise, it's one of those things, not the percentage thing, but the morale thing for you guys. If you guys lose another week, it's like we're not even the team that we thought we were. So they have to get it done. So that's why right now I do have Jared Goff set in. I'm going to ask you guys 2 more before going on. I know I'm like wasting our time here, but then in the Beast Nation League, the belt. I got to keep the belt, right? It's first round of playoffs. I ended up on the wrong side of it. I'm gonna play someone. I think I could beat him, but then after that, I play Yaya, the Juggernaut team. I went up on the wrong side of the seat. I wanted to be on the other one. That when I
Yeah.
played Yaya, I was in the championship, but I'm not. So I'm gonna have to go through Yaya if I win this week. But I had Joe Burrow as my quarterback. Obviously, he gets hurt. I have CJ Stroud though that I picked up, but I dropped Dobbs as on my bench and I picked up Nick Mullins. Do I look at Nick Mullins this week because of the fact he's playing the Bengals? He's projected
That's tough.
he's projected higher points than CJ Stroud is. Not that projections mean anything, but CJ
The
Stroud has
problem
had a
is with
couple
his
rough
health.
weeks with those guys out. Like,
Yeah, and the problem is with CJ's health, um, since he's not through concussion protocol officially yet. That's a really tough.
It's so tough, man.
Especially because he's so you're looking at a Saturday matchup versus maybe not getting the official news that he's cleared for the Sunday. So
Right. Yeah, so I mean, and that's something I haven't even thought about. And then, it's one of those things where in that same exact league, right now, I have DK Metcalf in, which I'm keeping him in because the Eagles have the worst pass defense at the moment. They're terrible, and so he's going to dominate us. I'm putting Puka in because he's against Washington. I think he's going to put up numbers like you saw in your. I love him, but then in my flex, I have to debate between Josh Jacobs on Thursday or DJ Moore against the Browns. And DJ Moore has been like great.
Yeah.
But then I could put in Josh Jacobs and put in and my other my starting running backs are Henry and Kamara. I can't bench those guys.
So I don't know. The reason I officially picked the Chargers and probably Cincy is after seeing that 3-0 game.
I know.
I don't know how you trust any pieces of those offenses for Raiders or for Vikings. So that's a shaky spot to be in.
It's Josh Jacobs. You know what I mean? Like when you were in our league last year, that's who won me the league was Josh Jacobs. It's like
right.
I'm looking through his weeks, and it's like the week before last week. You're looking at 34 points in PPR. It's like he had 100 on the yard on the ground against Kansas City with a touchdown. Like 4 catches. It's like he's had a couple really big explosive games, but it's literally explosive or nothing. And then it's like DJ Moore has been very consistent since what's his name has been back, Justin Fields. But yeah, it's I'm in a rough one for playoffs because it's gonna be one of those things where I go one way and it goes the other way.
Yeah, I mean they did use DJ Moore kind of creatively against the Lions.
Yeah, he got his first rushing touchdown.
He had that rushing touchdown. I think they're finding ways to get him the ball, so I think he does have upside, even if it's against the Browns. So
yeah, and then yeah, it's just it's rough. So it's gonna be you talking about with Tyreek. It's one of those. It's gonna be a rough week, especially for people that are relying on Tyreek and a lot of these high power offenses are going into a rough part of their schedule. It'd be nice to have some 49 players on your team, no doubt. But Packers, Bucks, we all have Packers. I do think the Packers get it done. It's one of those must wins. Bucks haven't looked the greatest, but I mean, it should be a good game. I mean, it should be. I mean, I feel like I value them at the same level.
That's the most equal matchup I've probably seen this year. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's like the most they're the same team. Like
the games won almost shouldn't have been, and the games lost shouldn't have been. It's like they're opposite. It's like wow.
And then we go to Saints Giants, where me and Matt take the Saints, and Fancy goes against Derek Carr, which we know the Saints are going to win now. So bet your entire mortgage on the Saints because every time Fancy bets against Derek Carr, he wins. But you never know. Tommy fucking DeVito,
Yeah, he saw it firsthand that DeVito can beat the Packers, so he's scared. So he's going to pick them
now. Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good quarterback. It takes a good one to win.
Yeah.
That's why Jared Goff didn't do it.
Oof. Falcons, Panthers, though. We all took Falcons. We don't have to. I mean, that's just,
I hope it's an upset, though. I hope we're all wrong.
That'd be crazy. I mean,
we skip right over it, and then somehow they get a win.
It's already happened.
I know you love Art Smith, but I'd love to see.
I'd
love to see the Panthers win.
Hopefully, he's the next Packers head coach. I'd love to be this close to him. But Browns, Bears. Me and Matt took the Browns. Joe Flacco. Obviously, I took him in DK. 311, 3 touchdowns. 87 years old, and I mean,
fucking cannon.
Yeah,
An actual
Fancy,
cannon.
Fancy's
Like
taking the
that's what
Bears
they.
again. Shocker
Yeah,
there. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah.
Um,
Your other
but
favorite team,
yeah.
home
But
team.
the Chiefs Pats. Obviously, you got to take Chiefs after that one. But it's like I talked to Fancy. Wouldn't it be crazy? Broncos beat the Lions, and then the Pats beat the Chiefs, and then the Broncos are number one in the AFC West.
What does Zappy have to do to secure his future as the starter?
It's not going to
And
matter
it's
because Bill. It's like he'll probably still be there next year, but they're probably going to draft somebody. So he'll have to like beat out a draft pick. But like, there's gonna be a whole new head coach, new GM. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like I don't think it's set in stone because everything's gonna be so questionable that I don't even know. It's like
well, that's what I'm saying.
we'll
Like he's
see.
got the end of the year. He's got till the end of the year to prove
Yeah.
that he belongs there.
I mean,
I
last
think
week was a
Mac
big week.
Jones has proved that he doesn't belong there.
Yeah.
Same with
Mac Jones
Daniel
be a
Jones.
new quarterback for the Jets.
It could be. I'm just saying, like between like Daniel Jones and DeVito, it's like you almost have the exact same situation between the Giants and the Patriots at the quarterback spot.
Is it crazy to say that I feel like Mac Jones is just the younger version of Joe Flacco?
I don't know.
Like they remind me of the same player. They cannot run for shit. And if you just give them a good enough team that could, like, remember the one game that the Patriots won against the Bills and they won with Mac Jones throwing like 3 passes?
Yeah,
That was
but
crazy.
that's why I've always doubted the Bills. not trusted in. That's not why I
Yeah.
trusted in the Patriots ever. It's why I doubted the Bills.
Yeah.
But when you bring that up, it's like there's no Ray Lewis on the Patriots.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
You got
You ain't
you
lying.
gotta have a non-murderer on there. Someone who definitely didn't do something like that.
Then we have 49ers, Cardinals, obviously 49ers all the way, but crazy, it'd be crazy getting upset there. It would really shock the world to see the 49ers take a loss. I mean, they've taken a couple losses to teams that they shouldn't have lost to, and the Cardinals beat, the Cardinals beat the Cowboys. You never know. You never know.
You're
Um,
goddamn right they did.
Let's see if
and
Debo can
keep going.
just
Stay
two
hot.
weeks in a row or that unbelievable stats out of him.
Yeah. He's
So
yeah, definitely love to have him in fantasy going into this week. Rams, Washington. Rams take it easy. All three of us have them, and then we have the Bills, Cowboys. Yuck. Literally the AFC. They're the same team. It's Jack,
It's a mirror.
Jack Allen,
Check out.
and but yeah, I don't know. I mean,
And Dodge Prescott.
and but yeah, it's one of those like. I think the Cowboys will probably win, but I'm taking the Bills because I don't want the Cowboys to win, and it's like I would rather have the Bills win because the Bills fans are much more tolerable than the Cowboys fans, so it just make me happier as a person.
If the Bills beat the Cowboys like they beat the Dolphins, I think the Cowboys are crushed.
Really? Because it's
Oh
the
my
first start.
God.
I mean, besides them playing us last week, but it's like just the start of it for them in this juggernaut schedule. It's
Yeah.
they got to get through this, and it's like they lose against a struggling Bills team. It'd be interesting. But Buffalo's gonna in Buffalo. It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be loud. You know what I mean? It's like it's
Oh yeah,
not
they
it's
have
not the
all the
Cowboys.
advantage.
Yeah, it's not the Cowboys. Atmosphere that they're used to. So
yeah,
It's
both
being
these
fucking
teams,
cold.
looked really good last week. So
it'll be interesting. It should be a good game.
we're gonna have to see which Bills team actually shows up, right? And then if the Cowboys can sustain that. What were you saying before? Basically they can't beat a above 500 team. We finally saw them, destroy the Eagles. So we'll see what they can do against the Bills and see who comes out on top.
Yeah, I definitely think that's I'm excited for that game. That's a Sunday afternoon game.
That is Sunday at 3:25 our time, fancy 4:25 Eastern.
And then who's the night game Saturday? Man, there's
Saturday
really
the
some
night game
pretty good.
is the Lions. Yeah, no, we're gonna have a good slate of football. We should the slate
Yeah.
of football should be good this week. It should be a good run at some football.
Did you guys see? I don't know. We'd have to look at what our other breakdowns were. We've got 9 games that we disagree on. Now, whether it's split between, Fancy normally is picking by himself on the other side of it.
I mean the first 3 for me and you are all against each other. So that's huge towards our thing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But then we have the Ravens Jags as the Sunday night game, which will be dope. Well, we'll see. We'll see what it's gonna be a good game for the Jags because it's an important one for them. Like you said, kind of that Texans, you know what I mean? That percentage, you know what I mean? It's like if they win this game against a really good team at home, I'm sure they'll be looking better going into these next couple weeks. But if they lose, the Texans win, they're gonna be right on their ass for that AFC South. But we all took the Ravens in that one, and then we have Monday Night Football. We took the spot over Chiefs Pats. They moved the slots, and it's
Thank
the
God.
Eagles versus no kidding, the Eagles versus the Seahawks. And we all took the Eagles in that one in Seattle. But that is our takes for the week.
The favorites for Monday Night Football last week both lost, so hopefully the favorites this week
Hopefully,
have better luck.
I hope so. That leaves us with our last segment of the podcast of trivia with Matt. So we'll get right over to that.
Ooh.
Whoa. That was my
production crew.
Yeah.
For the best segment of the show, trivia time.
Everyone waits for it. I just fucked it up.
It's all right. All right. So, best time of the show, trivia time. I thought of one that's going to let you guys kind of put your heads together. Let's go through a list of.
Can you help me out this week, dude?
This head or
both?
Hey, that's up to you.
Okay.
Whatever you want to do. So
whatever
inclusive.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Help each other out. You can use your heads, your hands, whatever you want to do. All right. So for this week, if you can cue that up, production crew.
Yep.
Please. All right. So talking about weather, that Buffalo game. Name the teams that play indoors.
Name the teams that are bitches.
Correct.
Both teams in Texas.
Where we like to see some.
Yeah.
So all right. So go ahead. I mean, however you guys want to do it. Name.
Who has a stadium built after 2005?
Fancy's got Texans, Cowboys right there.
Arizona.
How many are there?
Do you want to guess?
Las Vegas.
No.
Don't just start rambling. Guess.
Try to get.
I'm not guessing. I'm telling you for sure.
No, I know. He's saying how many are there, and you're saying a stadium.
A number.
Oh. Yeah.
I thought you said name the teams that play.
No, I know, but he's saying that, and I said how many teams are there?
Because he wants to know. I want you guys to at least guess.
I mean, I don't know.
How many open top? 10?
Like 8, 9,
10.
Is there 10 total?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So Fancy's got. So we got Texans. We got Cowboys
and Cowboys, and then name. You want to try name the stadiums as part of that when you say the teams or
NRG,
AT&T.
AT&T.
Yeah. Yep. All right.
University of Phoenix.com field or whatever. Arizona. It's like it's like University of Phoenix or something like that.
Are you talking about the Cardinal Stadium?
Yeah.
That's hockey.
Oh, there's the hockey field.
Yes, the hockey is using the University of Phoenix. The Cardinals is State Farm, isn't it?
Yep, there you go.
They just had a Super Bowl there. That was easy.
It's new.
I'm like University of Phoenix. That's the Coyotes.
I knew one of them was over there.
It's the Coyotes. They took over because they're building a new rink or whatever over there. So we have. All right,
that's 3 down.
Before we keep writing them off, Fancy, let's make sure we have 3 out of 10 right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will say Saints, and it's the Mercedes, or is it like Mercedes Benz or something
like it used to be.
Oh, now it's a Superdome.
Well, it was the Superdome originally. Then it was the Mercedes Superdome, and now who knows what Superdome it is?
Now
my brother was just there.
Ask him.
No, he's just there. Take a picture so I know what it is.
The Falcons got one too.
Hold on.
No, it's not Lions. Lions is Ford, correct?
No,
I know. But I'm thinking Caesars.
Yes.
No, it is Caesars. Caesars is the hockey though for Detroit.
Little Caesars. Caesars.
Well, I got
one pizza, one casino.
You're right. Saints and Caesars now. Yep.
Okay, so Saints and Caesars. I got Lions at 4, so we're at 5.
Correct.
So we're halfway through.
Halfway through.
We have. Wait.
It's Fancy's
The
turn to
Rams just built
ramble
theirs.
on off.
Rams.
Yeah, the Rams is new, but I don't know what the
SoFi.
name
That
is.
they just
Oh
built
yeah,
that. That's like
SoFi.
$1 billion,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're,
That's
you're
what I
half,
thought.
You're halfway correct on that answer.
SoFi Stadium.
What'd I say?
So you're
It's Rams and
2/3
Chargers,
There you go. Yep.
and then you got
It's Rams
Oh,
and
that
Rams
count.
and
Oh,
Chargers.
okay. Oh,
Technically,
okay.
technically, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
and
no,
then
I got you.
and then Vegas. We have Vegas or no?
We do not have Vegas.
So I'll give that one to you. Raiders, and where do they play?
It starts with an A, Fancy.
They're not in the
Allegiant
sphere.
or
What is it?
Allegiant or something like that.
Yep.
Allegiance?
Allegiance or Allegiant?
Allegiant.
What the fuck is Allegiant?
Yeah,
He's right. But what is it?
Yeah, I don't know.
The
Is
mortgage
it the
company?
airline? I mean,
It's probably what a gambling addict. is.
The Colts. Lucas Oil, because I've drove past it like a ton of times, right?
Yeah.
yes,
Lucas Oil.
yes, sir.
Oh, we at 7?
I've been there for more NCAA final or NCAA tournament games for basketball than I have for football. But yes,
For basketball. Oh yeah, because they do that. They do the wow.
they host a lot of the times.
Okay,
they
well
host
the
regional there.
Falcons just built the stadium because they brought the prices down on their concessions. I know that. And that's in
that was like the kicker going into this year was that they had like affordable food, right?
yeah,
Yep.
dude. It
Yeah,
was
that
like
was the-
$2 hot dogs and like $4 beers and shit like that. It was
Who
crazy.
doesn't love a $2 glizzy?
Dude, you ain't lying.
Just
Is that the new Mercedes then?
Yes, good job.
Is it?
Yeah.
interesting.
So they just swapped. They just.
Well, because normally it's only like a 5 or 10 year deal.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So to buy out the rights, that's why you see.
Oh.
I'm trying to think what else was the Seattle Seahawks switched theirs over from. I can't even think of the name of it now. Were they Century?
Oh yeah. I don't know.
And then
that sounds familiar, but I don't remember.
So we're at 9.
Yep, we
That
got
was
one
it.
more.
What?
No, Vikings. Vikings just built theirs too.
Oh yeah, I thought we
It's
went over
the
the
big
Vikings,
glass.
Yeah.
That one's built terrible too because there's always shadows. There's always shadow. You like half the stadium's got like glass, and then it's like the other one.
You'd think they would design when they design that they'd get that figured
billions of
out.
dollars.
What wasn't it the Vikings old stadium that they literally like left to rot and like just collapsed one day and like it was caught like on city cam?
Yep, where all the
just,
snow
like,
built up and it caved. It caved
yeah,
straight
just
in.
caved
Well, no,
in,
yeah, it's because that used to be that's like the old technology where it was more of the like bubble
where it slid off.
Yeah, so then it was just
right.
Hammer was snow.
Well, and it was abandoned, so there was like no heat inside to kind of even try
melt
to,
it
like,
off the top.
shed any of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So that one you might not know the stadium name. I didn't know it either.
The Vikings though, it's brand new.
Is it brand new?
Yes.
Yes.
Like in 2-3 years, right?
Yep.
Dude, I saw it when I was in Minneapolis.
I have no idea.
It's gonna bother me if I don't give it to me yet because I can get it.
I don't.
I wouldn't expect you to know that this one's tougher.
Either a bank or like a mortgage. It's not like Rocket Mortgage. It's not
a Citibank.
No, it's not like it's not. Fuck. What did you say?
City. I said
US
Citibank.
Bank. US Bank.
US Bank.
Oh yeah.
US Bank. Thank you. If you didn't say Citibank, I wouldn't have got it.
Yeah.
Once you got the one part, I was like, dude, no.
Once you said like Rocket Mortgage and stuff, I was like, oh, okay, now that scratched.
But
like, wait a minute.
But see, that's what it is. Yeah, like that one's a
Yeah, that one was the tougher one. I mean, obviously Lucas Oil and whatever else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lucas Oil makes sense at the Indy 500, city.
Yeah. That
makes sense.
All right, good work, guys. Way to walk through it.
Yeah, dude. Dude, what a bunch of bitches down in Texas, dude. They got the heat and they still can't even play outside. Oh,
dude,
losers.
I'm telling you, when I went to go see the Packers like lay the pipe on the Texans, it was nice to be in there and not sweat.
Dude, no, when I've been to Ford Field with Matt twice now, and both times that we went, it's been fucking free. Or no, the one time it was nice out, but the other time it was fucking freezing outside.
Yeah.
When they played on Halloween, remember that the first time they played on Halloween, and it was like we went to there on Halloween and we went there on 9/11. We've gone there on 2
holidays. Go ahead and say it.
Not holidays. Let's say events.
Things you celebrate with friends.
I was like, dude,
we're not the Bills. We're not the
9/11
Bills.
one was way nicer. Huh?
Oh,
Barry Sanders. He was there.
Well, no, didn't they? They
Seriously.
weren't they inducting?
The linebacker.
Um,
You should know it, not me.
wow, I'm drawing a complete blank right now.
Why do I feel like it's something with an S? The fact that you don't know your own guy that got retired is crazy.
Dude, I'm tired right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Simon.
So,
It's a linebacker, dude. I don't know. But
Simple
was there.
Simon.
he
We were
commentates. He's
we were laughing our asses off though, dude.
Oh,
because
hey, what's up with Al getting kicked off the playoffs?
who?
Is his name Al? Allen? Arthur?
What are you talking about?
Hey, he's been on there. He's the one who always sucks off Tom Brady. He's like, here's a guy.
Oh, you're talking about like I don't even know. I don't
He's
even
a
know.
commentator. He's been on forever, and they said he's not going
Chris
to be at the playoffs.
Spielman. Jesus.
I said S. I said S.
Yep. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
At
whatever.
least we got it.
We'll manage.
But yeah, there's one of the commentators isn't going to be commentating the playoffs this year. I didn't get to see why.
Yeah.
You guys didn't see that?
No.
Joe Buck?
It's like no.
Michaels?
Guys, let's be serious.
Wait, are you talking about
Al Smith? Al Michaels.
Are you talking about Skip Bayless?
Al Michaels, right? Is not.
Dude, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that
Al Michaels out of NBC's playoff.
Shannon Sharp?
Al Michaels out of NBC NFL playoff coverage and move he wasn't expecting. Yeah. They said the NBC removes him for playoff coverage.
Huh?
Repeated use of the. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, right, dude. You're like, well, there it is. Like,
yeah.
Here's this OnlyFan link that we just found.
He refused to say the Commanders or something, or what?
Yeah, it could have been. It was weird.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, he's out.
But yeah, I mean that's it for me. Like I said, should be good. Should be a good weekend of football. Saturday, Sunday. Make sure you guys set those playoff lineups before Sunday. A lot of people are going to forget about that they play Saturday, not Sunday. Make sure your guys are in, not questionable, not out. Watch those Saturday, Sunday matchups. Those guys on Sunday are questionable. You might want to start someone that's on Saturday. You never know. But look out for that. Matt, Fancy, anything else you guys got to say?
Baker clutch. Watch the 4th down calls for the Cowboys or for the Lions. And Zappy's gonna carry the Patriots out to a wholesome season ending.
Hope they do. Yeah, that's it then for us. Episode 7. We'll be back next week. Make sure you guys are following our socials if you guys not. Make sure you guys click the like button if you guys got this far into the video. Let us know that you're listening. Leave a comment, ask a question. Let us know what's your favorite segment. If it's the trivia, if we should get rid of the trivia.
Never.
If
we should make more TikToks about the trivia.
Maybe we should start doing another segment, fun facts with Fancy. Not even being football related. They'll just come in here with a random fun fact. That either you're gonna walk away and smile about, or you're gonna walk away and be a little bit like uncomfortable.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, yeah, we could do that. But yeah, this is Talks Within Reach. We appreciate you guys listening, and yeah, thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Later.